John, I'd just like to take another crack at Arshav's question. If you're going to get any kind of agreement, you have to have some leverage, and that can be positive and negative reinforcement. So you've said what's in it, the agreement for the Russians is the possibility of military collaboration, this joint implementation center. That's something they want. But what I don't think we have heard here is, so what are the consequences for Russia if this agreement falls through, beyond some interagency discussions about options that have not yet been chosen? What are the consequences for Russia other than Secretary Kerry won't talk to them on this particular issue going forward?
The consequences are that the civil war will continue in Syria, that extremist groups will continue to exploit the vacuums that are there in Syria to expand their operations, which will include, no question, attacks against Russian interests, perhaps even Russian cities. And Russia will continue to send troops home in body bags. And they will continue to lose resources, even perhaps more aircraft. The stability that they claim they seek in Syria will be ever more elusive. And it's hard to imagine how a continued war, not just a civil war now, but increasingly more violent extremist activity in Syria, can be in the interest of a nation that says, it claims, and has claimed publicly time and time again that what they want to see is a whole, unified, pluralistic Syria and a stable Syria, a secure Syria, a Syria where they want to continue to have a defense relationship and a presence. So that's what's in it for them.
Well, when you say, just a quick follow, when you say that extremists will exploit the vacuum, and that could include attacks on Russian cities, and Russia could send its troops back in body bags, that also could suggest that perhaps the rebels could start sending home their troops in body bags.
It's going to mean, again, more violence, more war, and you can expect casualties on both sides of this. But the question was, what's in it for Russia to meet its obligations under I don't know how many different agreements, but specifically the one from September 9th in terms of 7 days of reduced violence, humanitarian access. So the question posed to me was what's in it for Russia, and that's what's in it for Russia, well, aside from the fact that they also want to see a measure of U.S. military cooperation.
But they clearly don't care that the civil war is continuing because they're helping to continue. So it sounds like what you're saying is that the consequences for Russia is that this is going to become more of a quagmire for them. And, you know, you've maintained that they don't want to stay there indefinitely. So
no, I didn't say that.
The secretary, a lot of people have said that Russians don't want to stay there forever. And what I'm saying is, it sounds like you're suggesting that the consequences for Russia is that this will become a quagmire, that staying in it longer is not in their best interest.
First of all, they have had a long-term presence in Syria. I don't think anybody expects that they're looking to end that presence.
No,
so
I
it's
mean,
not that
when I mean stay there, I mean in this current configuration where they're heavily engaged in a military intervention.
Well, again, those are decisions they have to make as a sovereign country. My point is, the question was, what's in it for them to comply with this? What's in it for them to meet their obligations, to move forward with a JIC and get the cooperation that they want? What's in it for them in terms of, or what happens to them if they don't do that, is that they'll end up being, more deeply involved in this, and the war won't stop. Opposition groups are certainly not going to pull back. Extremist groups are likely going to expand and take advantage of the chaos, and the war will continue. And more Russian resources will be expended. More Russian lives will be lost. More Russian aircraft will be shot down, and this will go on.
John, those